Hello, hockey fans, and welcome to another edition of Winners and Losers. We're going to start with the Eastern Conference, a look at the standings. Washington is in first place, and they've won their first 7 games. They haven't done so consistently every single time, but the fact is that they are 7-0-0 to start the season. Let's see if this is their year. Pittsburgh, missing a lot of their big guns, is in second place with 6-2-2 and winners of their last 3. Toronto, surprisingly to some, not everybody, is 5-1-1, and they just lost last night, but that doesn't count. This is last week's standings. Buffalo's doing well. Philadelphia as well. They gelled a lot quicker than I thought. Although they've lost their last 2 games, they are still at 4 wins, 2 losses, and 1 overtime loss. Florida is equally doing well. They're in a playoff spot at 4-3-0 and have won their last game. Tampa was struggling and has come back now with a 3-3-2 record, winners of their last 2 games. Carolina, another team that's not a high budget team, is doing quite well, and they are 3-3-2. Now the teams out of the playoffs as of Sunday: New Jersey, Islanders, Rangers, Boston, Ottawa, Winnipeg, Montreal. Montreal's the worst of these. They've only won 1 game. They've won none at home. They were booed off the ice last night. Their fans are so disgusted with them. And Ottawa is not the last place team as was predicted by Hockey News. Boston's finally getting their game together. They still have a 3-5 record. They've lost their last game, but they've started winning convincingly when they do. They were having so many problems at the beginning of the season, and now they've got it back together again. And now for a look at the Western Conference. Dallas is at the top of the standings. This is really surprising. I had Dallas going nowhere. They are literally having to bring players in to meet the salary cap floor, and yet here they are at 6 wins, 2 losses. They've played extremely well. Colorado is the other surprise. A very young team that had made some changes in the offseason and now are sitting at 6 wins, 2 losses. Detroit is always top of their division at 5 wins and 1 loss. Los Angeles is equally doing well with 5 wins and 1 loss. And Chicago, as I predicted, is having a bounce back year. They're 4 wins, 1 loss, 2 overtime losses. Vancouver, after struggling early, has found their game and is now 4-3-1, but they're not done yet. They still have to improve immensely if they're going to make it back to the playoffs. Minnesota Wild, 3 wins, 2 losses. They're doing well, as is Anaheim, another young team that's getting their act together at 4 wins and 3 losses. Edmonton, they're not on the floor anymore. 3-2-2. They've won their last game. They're just out of the playoff picture. St. Louis is a rebuilding team as well. They're at 4-4. Phoenix, 3-3-1. I don't expect Phoenix to make the playoffs this year unless they get some help, and I'm not even going to go there. And Nashville is struggling mightily at 3-3-1. San Jose, I don't understand this team. They're even better than they were last year, and yet here they are out of the playoffs at 3 wins and 3 losses. This team should be up there at the top of their division and the top of their conference. Every year it seems to be the same thing with them. They're going to have to get their act together. They don't want to go into the playoffs having to fight for a spot as they did last time. Calgary, 2 wins, 4 losses. They're struggling, and Columbus has not won a single game yet. They were in Ottawa not long ago. This team is very fragile. They have a lot of talent. They're missing their 2 biggest stars, but they still need to do something here, or their fans are really, they're not showing up now. It's just going to get worse. So that's it for week 1. We'll see where everything is next week. There's not much to talk about. Like I said, it's only been 8 games in for some teams. Some teams have played even less. Until next time.